Hey everybody, welcome back. Arg, get on there. Not gonna do it. All right, welcome back. So yesterday after I got the head on this put back together, I went and sat down on my office chair and it broke. It listed way over to one side and back and almost threw me over, bucked me off like a horse. And I took it apart to find this. That weld. I'm not sure if the weld broke or if metal tore. I think the metal tore out right next to the weld. Nonetheless, I have to fix that. And I'm going to fix it as opposed to buying a new chair because this is probably my favorite office chair that I have ever owned. It's a 9-to-5 Strata chair. I'm going to fix this one. And I don't think that's going to easily just bend back down. I'm going to apply some heat to it, but I think probably what I'm going to have to do is cut the rest of the way around it, lift this completely out, hammer the metal back in place, then sit that back down and weld it in. And I want it angled more toward the front because it leans back too far. Even with this pulled out or this hooked in, it still leans back too far because my hole here is kind of worn. I probably ought to take this thing the rest of the way apart, but I have a feeling that would mean grinding this off. And I just don't want to. This is another one of those rabbit holes. I don't want to go any further down than I can. So I think what I'm going to do is heat this. And I have to be careful because this is a hydraulic cylinder. I can't heat that too much. Oh boy, I can't be doing that. I'm going to melt that plastic. Does that come off of there? That does not come off of there. So that leaves the grinder method. That leaves the cutting wheel method. Shoot. Yeah, I forgot all about that being plastic. And that only unscrews so far and won't come the rest of the way off. And that, once again, now we're back into the realm of more effort than I really want to do to this. Boy, I wish there was some way to put enough torque on that to bend that back, but I just can't seem to get everything locked in place well enough to do it. Nothing wants to do what I want it to do. Ah! Let's try whacking it a few times, seeing what. I could put a clamp in there. In order for that to work, I'd have to tack weld the clamp. Don't like that idea that much either. But that's crooked. I don't know if you can see it, but that post is crooked. And one of the things I cannot tolerate is a chair that lifts to one side. What am I going to do here? I've got it bent so far now, I really don't want to cut it the rest of the way. I could try hot tacking it, but there's really no decent place to hit it either. Keep doing that, I'll wind up breaking that thing. That's not going to work. I'm not going to go down in there any further. And that is still not straight. Now, I could cut it part way just to relieve it enough to lift to bend. I could tack weld a clamp to it. See if that would work. Not really liking any of the ideas I've come up with so far. Disassemble it the rest of the way, but that would require grinding out these peened over pins, and I don't really want to do that. So the only thing I'm really seeing right now is to cut this. Ah, fuck, that thing is in there. Oh, there it comes. There we go. All right, so that helped, I think. And I don't want to deform that hole either, if I could help it, at least too much. So I'm trying to use the brass hammer. Wow, that's some soft material. I'm going to have to be careful with that. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut that. Just a cutoff wheel like this and go around it like that. Enough to weaken it to let it come up. Now I'm going to weld it all back up anyway. See if that will give me a, maybe I can just break it out of there now. It's tearing right there, and I don't want it to do that. I mean, if it has to, I don't care. I'll weld it back up, but not really what I want. Oh, still gonna do it. Boy, it really wants to tear there, doesn't it? Not sure I can stop that. I really don't want it doing that. It's doing everything. It's breaking everywhere except where I'm grinding. Holy fuck, why is it not breaking where I want it? I've got to grind almost all the way through. Still not going to do it. Oh, now it's going to break. All right, now it's going to break. Oh, just do it already. Quit teasing me. Jeez. All right, going to go over to the belt sander and I'm going to clean this up. All right, how did that fit in there? I have a square piece right over here. This was my tear, so that must have gone. I don't really care how it goes either. I don't really care. I just want it to be solid and square. That warped a little. Ouch, that warped a little bit. We'd like not to damage it. All right. And also that up and down control has to work when I'm done. And that's just the button on the end of here. So that shouldn't be a problem as long as I get this height, I don't know, within 1/8 of an inch of where it was, I would think. All right. So I want that to sit down in there better. Also, don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I have this tear here between the part and the weld from before, and I think what I'm going to have to do is fill that in and grind it smooth. But I want this to sit down in that hole, and it's still, oh, there it goes. I'm getting close. I'm getting close to where I want to be. And then after I get this to where it fits, I think I'll weld this up and grind it smooth. Trying to grind it at a slight angle so it's like a wedge, so that it sits down in and kind of wedges. All right, I think that's enough. Let's take it over to the welder, and I'm going to weld this back up. All right, I'm done welding that crack up. I just used straight MIG wire. Did I miss a spot? Looks like I missed a little spot there, didn't I? I just used solid core wire and CO2 gas with the Yes Welder MIG 205 DS Pro. All right, I have that all cleaned up and kind of tapped into place. Tapped with double P's, not tacked with a CK. And all I got to do is kind of make sure that I'm square, and I can see that I'm not. But what I think I'll do, I think I'll tack it front and rear, and then I can rock it from side to side on the tacks until I have it where I like it. But I can see it's at a angle like that. So I bought one of these little angle finders a while back. Don't know if you can see it in the screen, but I used this when I did the drive shafts in the CJ7. So, or at least the back drive shaft, not plural. But let's see if that gives me an idea. And I tacked this with 2 wide, thick tacks. And there's no flat spot here to put this on. So I'm going to have to come here. I come there, and I am showing 6.8, 6.8. So if I come here, I should see the same 6.8. And I'm seeing 4.95 and 5. So to get that to 6.8, I need to tip it this way. Let's see how, oh, that went easier than I thought. So 5.45, 6.7. So, gee, I thought I'd tack that better than that. 6 point, I don't know if you can see it from where you are. Let me see if I can get you a view. So this has magnets on the bottom. So if I stick it there, I'm looking at 6.7. And then if I come up here, I'm looking at 6.7. I don't think I'll ever get it any better than that. So I'm going to put 2 quick tacks on either side to secure that. Put one over here and one over here. And then I'm going to weld it up. So there you go. Not the prettiest thing I've ever done, but I don't do a lot of pretty things these days. I put a lot of extra weld metal on it because I knew there were cracks around it. Sorry about the dog barking. And wire's cheap. So all we got to do is make sure our hydraulic cylinder fits still in, and it does. And I'll go in and put the chair back together, and I'll report back to you whether it's going to work or not. All right, so here it is all back together. And you can see my weld here. Not bad, not great, but not bad. I was aiming more for strength than for pretty. And I did put a quick coat of black paint on it. Not that I really needed to, because nothing really rusts here in Arizona. But I did anyway because I could. And it's extended all the way out. And I'm looking pretty straight. I don't know. Let me put the camera down. We'll stand it up. We'll give it a shot. I am very sensitive to chairs that list to one side. So if it does to any significant degree, I will know it. I also tried to, when I welded it back on, I tried to cant it this way so that it didn't lean quite back as far in the lock position because that hole's worn open a bit. So let's see what it's like. All right, that feels nice and upright. I like how far it leans back. It's in the lock position. Let's unlock it. And yeah, now I never ever do that. As you can tell from the fact that I almost fell over. That's how I like it. That's almost perfect for me. I gotta lower it down because otherwise I'll never get my knees under my keyboard. So that's nice. That still works. See, I normally have it completely at the bottom because if I don't, I won't get my knees underneath my keyboard disc. See, that's as far down as it'll go. And my knees are still right at the pushing up on my keyboard drawer. So anyway, that seems to be pretty good for right now. I am going to yeah, that feels nice and upright. That doesn't feel like it leans in either direction. I like it. All it has to do is hold up, and I will keep y'all appraised. If it has, I've got an idea for what to do if it breaks again, but hopefully I won't have to do that. Thanks for watching.